In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. Today on the Compliance Tip of the Day, we begin a two-part look at the recently released FCPA memo by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche on FCPA enforcement. In this part one of a special two-part Compliance Tip of the Day, we're going to consider what the DAG Blanche's memo on FCPA enforcement says. Well, there are 6 key areas I want to highlight. Number 1, cartels, corruption, and competitive advantage, the new enforcement trifecta. The Trump administration has refocused DOJ enforcement on cartels and transnational criminal organization. The FCPA memo formalizes this commitment by tying cartel activity directly to FCPA enforcement. If a foreign company bribes officials in a jurisdiction where cartels thrive, here think of Mexico or Colombia, the administration will see a compelling hook for the DOJ to act. It is not just about corruption in isolation, it's about rooting out the business practices that enable criminal ecosystems. 2, expedited investigations. The FCPA memo calls on prosecutors to proceed as expeditiously as possible in investigating and resolving FCPA cases. On its face, this sounds like good news. No more long, open-ended probes, which can paralyze a business or drain resources. But what does it really mean? More pressure on prosecutors, more pressure on internal investigations, more pressure on internal reporting and triage, more pressure on getting it right? Hint, it's all of the above. 3, collateral consequences and business disruption. The FCPA enforcement memo notably instructs prosecutors to consider all collateral consequences, i.e. the potential disruption to lawful business operations and the impact on innocent employees. The language expands typical resolution phase considerations into the investigative phase itself. This could play out in several ways, and it certainly gives defense counsel more arguments to make to the DOJ. 4, national security interests. National security interests are certainly paramount or front and center here, but this really builds on what the Biden administration started. It'll mean more cases involving sectors such as defense, software, AI, critical minerals, deep water infrastructure, cobalt mining, chip manufacturing, satellite communications, and cyber tools will now all fall within the DOJ remit around FCPA. Number 5, corporate structures and individual misconducts. One curious phrase in the memo warns against attributing non-specific malfeasance to corporate structures. While this may seem like a head-scratcher, this reinforces a long-standing DOJ principle that corporations are liable when individuals commit crimes, not because of vague failures in internal controls. Indeed, this is what the DOJ typically leaves to the SEC. Next up, a focus on serious misconduct. The DOJ has said it will de minimis FCPA violations, think small gifts, modest travel, or isolated hospitality expenses. They will no longer be the centerpiece of enforcement actions unless they accompany more serious wrongdoing. This is prominently stated in the FCPA memo. So with this, you see a lot of refocus and a repackaging by the Trump administration of initiatives started by the Biden administration. So once again, one administration builds on another administration's. Key takeaways are each point that we have stated in this rather than summarizing them at the end yet again. So I hope you will check out my blog post on this and the memo itself. One of the things that I'm happy to do for you, the compliance profession, is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip. Either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced with the assistance of AI.